Good afternoon. Today, the United States of America is changing its relationship with the people of Cuba. In the most significant changes in our policy in more than 50 years, we will end an outdated approach that for decades has failed to advance our interests, and instead, we will begin to normalize relations between our two countries. Through these changes, we intend to create more opportunities for the American and Cuban people, and begin a new chapter among the nations of the Americas. There's a complicated history between the United States and Cuba. I was born in 1961, just over 2 years after Fidel Castro took power in Cuba, and just a few months after the Bay of Pigs invasion, which tried to overthrow his regime. Over the next several decades, the relationship between our countries played out against the backdrop of the Cold War and America's steadfast opposition to communism. We're separated by just over 90 miles, but year after year, an ideological and economic barrier hardened between our two countries. Meanwhile, the Cuban exile community in the United States made enormous contributions to our country in politics and business, culture, and sports. Like immigrants before, Cubans helped remake America, even as they felt a painful yearning for the land and families they left behind. All of this bound America and Cuba in a unique relationship, at once family and foe. Proudly, the United States has supported democracy and human rights in Cuba through these 5 decades. We've done so primarily through policies that aim to isolate the island, preventing the most basic travel and commerce that Americans can enjoy anyplace else. And though this policy has been rooted in the best of intentions, no other nation joins us in imposing these sanctions, and it has had little effect beyond providing the Cuban government with a rationale for restrictions on its people. Today, Cuba is still governed by the Castros and the communists.
To travel to Cuba, let me share what my good friend Charles Bozian said, and he has been nearly 10 times. Fred, every country has been going to Cuba for years, except the United States, until now. My trip was outstanding. Even though I felt I was very prepared, my experience was smooth sailing. I purchased my tickets from my home office using my laptop. Using Charles's advice, I simply cobbled 2 round trips into one trip. I did LAX to Cancun, and inside of that, I did Cancun to Cuba. My total fare was approximately $750. 2 critical pieces of information you must be aware of. 1, obtaining your tourist visa, and 2, having proof of insurance. My recommendation for obtaining your tourist visa is to pick it up at the airport you will be departing to Cuba from. Whatever airline you fly with, they will usually have a customer service counter, not the boarding counter, and you simply state you wish to purchase a tourist visa. My process took less than 1 minute, and the only question I was asked is, "May I have your passport, please?" The clerk manually completed the visa form, stamped it, and stated that would be $25. You will notice on various sites the issue regarding health insurance. The cost is roughly $5 per day for each day you will be in Cuba. You can obtain it online or at the airport. I did not purchase any insurance after consulting with people who have recently visited. I have Kaiser, so the core issue is, do you have insurance if you get sick or need medical care while in Cuba? And if you have insurance, is it valid? I did bring my Kaiser card as part of my documentation packet if needed. Again, I was willing to take a chance because on a worst case basis, if pressed, I was prepared to purchase Cuba insurance, but it never came up. I was not pressed at the airport or even in Cuba, so no need to waste money on things like that. The boarding process. Going through customs was a breeze. They did not stamp my passport, but instead stamped my tourist visa. Keep this with you at all times. You got to have that tourist visa. Coming back was just as smooth. Bottom line for my trip, I was not held up, asked any questions, or otherwise delayed. I went in and out in a breeze. Even upon arriving back to the USA, I completed the tourist declaration card and listed Cuba as places I visited during my trip. But this was a non-issue as I checked in using the computerized terminal. Again, no issues. But as a word of caution, that was just my experience. Yours may be the same, then again it may be better, or it could be worse. But as long as you are prepared and are not a panicky person, you will be fine. If you are still nervous or have apprehensions, my recommendation is just go with a group. There's plenty of groups that'll take you there and hold your hand and take care of all your documentation. All right, that's my experience.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos al Aeropuerto Internacional José Martí en La Habana. Por favor, permanezcan en sus asientos sin abrir los compartimientos superiores mientras el avión se encuentra en movimiento, hasta que el aviso de abrochar el cinturón haya sido apagado. Para el capitán Francisco Rodríguez y la tripulación ha sido un placer tenerles a bordo. Esperamos poder servirles otra vez en un futuro cercano. Gracias por volar con Cuban Aviación en nuestro vuelo 153. Se les recuerda no olvidar a bordo sus objetos personales y tener cuidado al abrir los compartimientos de equipaje, ya que los artículos se han desacomodados durante el vuelo y pueden caer. Para su información, la hora local, 6 en la tarde, la temperatura exterior es de 28 grados. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to José Martí International Airport in Havana. Please remain seated with open your overhead beams until your capa's contact will stop and the seatbelt signs being turned off. For Captain Francisco Rodriguez and the crew, has been a pleasure having you aboard today, and we hope to serve you again in the very near future. Thank you for flying with Cuban on flight 153. We would like to remind you to locate your personal belongings, and please be careful with displays articles which may fall and up in your overhead bins. For your information, local time 6 o'clock. The outside temperature 28,000 degrees. Thank you and goodbye. Nuestra llegada al edificio terminal tomará unos minutos más, por lo que les pedimos por su propia seguridad permanezcan sentados con sus cinturones de seguridad abrochados. Gracias. Our arrival at the terminal building will take a few more minutes. We ask you to remain in your seats with your seatbelt securely fastened. Thank you and goodbye.
Avísame, no, por si acaso
Hasta
no
la
estoy aquí.
victoria siempre.
Oh, sí, avísame, ¿ok?
Hasta siempre.
Tú no estabas en ese lío, ¿no?
Revolution Square.
Ok.
Is it Revolution Plaza or Revolution Square? ¿Cómo se dice?
Plaza
It's
Revolución.
Plaza. Plaza, ¿cómo?
Plaza Revolución.
Ok, Revolución. En español.
Yeah.
I went to Cuba on a budget experience. My goal was not to go sit on the beaches sipping mojitos or smoking cigars. Instead, I wanted to meet the people and truly understand the culture. If that is your goal, save yourself some money and stay at a casa particulares. Basically, homeowners are able to rent you a room, but the activity is licensed by the government, so you're safe as can be, rather than staying in a hotel for $200, $300, $400 a night. But everyone's got a different agenda, so I don't know what yours might be. But for me, a casa particularis is perfect. I had budgeted $25 a day, but I told my contact I would be coming and going back and forth and didn't want to disrupt her at night or things of that nature, or even leaving early. So to my surprise, upon arriving at her home, she prepared a fantastic meal and told me my casa was around the corner. I walked around the corner, and to my surprise, I had an apartment, and the cost was just $35 a day. All I basically needed was to sleep and get a shower. Oh yes, and the unit had air conditioning. What a deal. My casa family was very gracious and made sure I was very, very comfortable.
Edition Nov.
And this is called what? Bananas?
Yeah, todo dice Peñado. It's a town.
Is it, is it
In there.
the back?
No, it's the hotel. Los amenities, the hotel. The other hotel.
Redentora te llama, y te llama con amor a la tierra. Yo quisiera ver a ese ser cantándole el verbo al divino Manuel. Oye, buen ser, avanza y ve que el coro te llama y te dice ven. Oye, buen ser, avanza y ve que el coro te llama y te dice ven. Huracán Huenchila, yo mamé, yo soy en que yo, Sala Maleco Sala, en todo con el mundo, yo soy Bachecha arriba en todo, yo soy Bachecha arriba en ganga. Sara banda bago tanima, palo en kisi Bacheche palo con palo rumbo monte que nunca te sea, y ya que te sea, mundo guava, Sala Maleco.
This is a Chevy. Inside. Somewhat restored. There's the iron horse making all that noise next to us. Okay, it's just the national food. ¿Cómo se dice? This is what is this menu?
Grill. Arroz con grill.
Arroz con gris, sí, and yuca,
Yuca.
ensalada.
Y ensalada que tiene aguacate, tiene habichuela,
Okay,
habichuela, little tomato, lechuga, tomato, lechuga y col. What do you say in English, col?
oh,
Col?
Oye, está lindo eso.
cabbage.
Cabbage?
Cabbage.
And so this is pollo.
Pollo y boniato. Sweet potato.
Ah, sweet potatoes.
Sweet potato.
Like yams.
It's special.
I love. Let me take a photo. Yes, I want a sandwich. Of just, what is that, pollo? Pork, okay. Very good. Delicioso. Horseback ride. This is the National Hotel of Cuba. Batista. All the boys in the celebrity state from what I mean. You've got a group playing. This is the famous Malacan. And here's actually a cannon that was used. Quite interesting. Let me get a picture of this. Crank that joker up, boy. You'll be firing for days. These jokers hit you, you're gone. And they got these all around the perimeter of the hotel. that's the Malecon. That's Fellaini. There's a Plymouth, I think. He's flying. And there's another one. And here comes yet. That's a Chevy. Who's this guy? He must be going 150. He's flying. In the red deal. They must be late for the airport. The Malecon. Take a shot. Two people just hanging out. Zoom in on them. See what they're doing. That looks like Slim. That water's pretty rough, boy, I tell you. Now, that's another part of Havana down there from what Manuel was saying. We were over there yesterday. That is where the stadium is at. The Industriales. That's the hotels. And there's some more hotels all the way in the back. Let me see if I can zoom in on those. There's another set. So this stretches all the way the perimeter, and of course Havana is in the north part of the country, so this would be the Caribbean Sea right here. And I guess you can't see it now, or maybe that is Florida. There's a boat. You see Florida's 90 miles off the coast. I don't know, that might be, what's that cat who loves war? McCain. He might be out there trying to see what he can brew up. Alright. Getting ready to go in here, check out some jazz. Opens at 10. Music's
Muy buenas noches, bienvenidos todos a la zorra y el puerto. El zócalo de los músicos cubanos del jazz. En la noche hay para ustedes Oscar Mate, la voz de Iraquere
here comes Yet. That's a Chevy. Who's this guy? He must be going 150. He's flying. In the red deal. They must be late for the airport. The Malachi. Take a shot. Two people just hanging out. Zoom in on them. See what they're doing. That looks like Slim. That water's pretty rough, boy, I tell you. Now, that's another part of Havana down there from what Manuel was saying. We were over there yesterday. That is where the stadium is at. The Industriales. That's the hotels. And there's some more hotels all the way in the back. Let me see if I can zoom in on those. There's another set. This is for Ronald. Guys, the old Negro. Looks like an office building. Is that Puig down there? That can't look just like Puig. That might be Puig. Just making up these pina coladas. Manuel and myself. And Manuel, he's taking pictures of me. There's some lads sitting out waiting on the game.